AKWAGIS, and indeed on behalf of Bush House Nigeria, who are media consultants on this event, welcome you formally. We are already live on about 5 channels or 6. I'll reel them out to you and for you presently. But I just need to inform all of us, everyone try and find a seat, please. Just try and sit down. Please try and find a seat. Those outside, please try and find a seat. And so that we can get the event underway. I'm just still waiting for the protocol list, but I know that the chairman on this occasion, very important, very special Nigerian man, gave 35 years of his life working for this country, protecting the people of this country, and even, if you like, also protecting friends of Nigeria. In a moment, I'll formally introduce the chairman, but we're excited to have him. That said, let me just give you a brief background. This event is holding here in Uyo. And for those who don't know, this is Signature by Royalty Hotel. It's one of those beautiful landmarks that tell you that Akwa Ibom is prepared to receive the world. And we're just super excited that we are here. This event was planned for 11 o'clock, and it's a very special event, even though it's holding in Africa. There's not going to be any Africanness about it, because it will start as it has started, and at 1, we'll all leave this place. It's just a 2-hour live media event, and it's a creation of Kyle Christian Nigeria Limited, who are consultants, as I said, to the Akwa Ibom State government on AKWAGIS. And of course, they do this through the Ministry of Lands and Water Resources. The Honorable Commissioner for that ministry would be with us shortly, and is expected to double, one as special guest and of course as chief host. Okay, but let me just give, I'm sure you have a copy of the program. If you don't have, I'll get somebody to come and help me. Please, Missy Moore, just help me get a copy of the programs to everyone. But while that is happening, let me give all of us an idea. The opening ceremonies would be on any moment now. That'll be followed by tone setting by the consultant to the project. I also will introduce him any moment now. The remarks by the chairman on the occasion would follow as item number 3. Item number 4 will be the keynote address by the chief host from special guests, the Honorable Commissioner Lands and Water Resources. There will be tea break as item number 5. That will be followed by a special performance, a 10-minute performance. You would love it. 6 will be questions and calls. This is going to be a different kind of town hall. We'll be taking phone calls from around the world, from Akwa Ibom, from Nigeria, from everywhere. Those who are watching, because I can also tell you this event is also online, live. Item number 7, vote of thanks. 8 is departure, and the master of ceremonies, I'll be introducing her any moment now. But let me just tell us that this event is live on AKBC TV. AKBC TV is on channel 45, as well as on Star Times, channel 113. That's for AKBC TV. As we speak now, we are live. So when you sit, please take care of yourself and know how you're sitting. Cross your legs, sit good, and all of that, because you don't know who's watching you. The second station, we are live. We are live on about 4 radio stations. I'll take them one by one now, starting of course with the mother of them all, Radio Akwa Ibom 90.5 FM. It's this event live. We're also live on Excel 106.9 FM. That's the second radio station. The third, of course, is a new kid on the block, Redemption FM. That's 101.5. And that's in a back. As a matter of fact, I think that one of the powers behind Redemption FM is even in the building, and I'll be introducing her. Then, of course, the last but not the least is the student radio, wanted to cover every interest. UNIO FM 100.7, they are also here. And then we're on YouTube Live, and we'd like to thank Solomon Ayo for making sure that is happening. And then I hope to that we are also on Facebook Live. So we just covered everything for everyone to see. I apologize, we're not able to get on Heritage, even though it's promoted on your program. Heritage FM is 104. 104.9 in Eket. We're not able to go there because of technical reasons, but whatever else, we are good to go. So that's the size of the program, the size of the intro. As I see the people, while still waiting for the protocol list, let me recognize and introduce a few people that I can spot from here. Let me start with, if you like, the number one local government chairman in all of Akwa Ibom State. Is currently the chairman of Esreket, but he's here in his capacity, and I see that he's even come with one of his colleagues. But the chairman, Algon, Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, the chairman for Akwa Ibom State, is the chairman himself of Esreket local government. The Right Honorable Inyobo Robson is in the building. Please put your hands together for him. He's here with his colleague. I'm sure that covers her as well. Wonderful chairman. She herself too is, spending her second term in office as chairman of Nsiretai. I'll be taking that and other chairmanship attendance in any moment now. Okay, so but let me go on to as somebody who represented my local government area, for all of 8 years at the very highest level of legislature in Akwa Ibom State, and that is the Right Honorable Usenebong Akpabio, a lawyer. Please put your hands together for him. The Right Honorable Barrister Usenebong Akpabio. Okay, so I have, since I have the list, let me just run through the list as I see them, and I hope that, I don't seem to see that here, so let me do that before I come. The Commissioner of Police is here represented. I don't find that on the list, so I'm going to be taking that right away. The Commissioner of Police is represented. Please put your hands together for the representative of the Commissioner of Police. The Controller Customs, is that how they call it? Is it Controller? Okay, Controller Immigration is also here represented. I know that I was coming to that. Yeah, thank you for coming. Customs is also represented. Okay, I thought somebody Customs mentioned that to me. And the State Director, DSS, those people that you only hear about them, you never get to see them. Even if I was to ask the representative to stand up, he might not stand up, so let's just clap, All right, so the other names are Architect Inyobo Rock, Chairman Nsurubium Local Government. Very nice to see him. The Right Honorable Mem Emmanuel Ibanga, as I alluded to earlier, is the chairman of Nsiretai, and she's been that for a second term. Put your hands together for her. The Honorable Queen Sandra Bassi is the leader at Back Legislative Council. Can you put your hands together for her? She's right there. The MD of Redemption 101.5 FM, I told you about her a moment ago. She just left service and then just graduated into her own radio station. Comfort, Omana. If you find the media people clapping more, you should understand. My brother and friend, NTA Nkeneke Fo, is here. Media Works Limited. Put your hands together for him. I don't know, is that, I don't know, I just see TPL. What does that mean? Town planner? Town planner? Okay. Town planner Eshet Freddy is of UCCDA. Please put your hands together for him. You should be, is that not Effiong? I can't find the name of your leader here. So I don't put you into trouble. The town planner, Edidion Edo, is also represented at PICO. Put your hands together for them. The chairman for Ikono local government is also, is that true? The chairman for Ikono local government is also here, Honorable Nyagno Okwibo. Okay, nice to see you, chairman. It's the first time I've seen you, very nice. And the chairman for Eastern Obolo, the Honorable Abraham Odiong, is also here. Put your hands together for him. Director Legal for MLWR, Emma Udonsek, Mrs. Emma Udonsek. Please put your hands together for her. I know that the chairman, the director, programs for AKBC who are covering this event is also here. My own sister, Helen Achibong. Where is she? Put your hands together for her. All right, so that we can start. And I'm sure that the consultant, Doc, We can get the program underway. Can I start? Okay, we can just allow a breather for a 5-minute breather for 2 minutes, 2-minute breather for music. So just give us music, then we come back in 2 minutes, not more, and start off. Many thanks for coming and welcome to the program. IRS, and is that the man representing the chairman of AKWAGIS State Internal Revenue Service, that is Utiba Basioko. Is that the one representing the chairman? Okay, all right, thank you. So we have other names. I'm just trying, okay, my friends from the media, Ekemini Simon, I see you, Didi Ongodobi, I see you, Basifreke Fion, I see you, Gabriel Nkeneke Fo, is that, I see you. Okay, Imo James Ekbo is the one presenting the chairman of AKIRS. I just need to get that correct because these things are not written the way they should. Anekan Victor is also here. SLC Chibuzo Akujobi Esquire is of the Federal Road Safety Commission. ASP Akuno Orwell, Ezekiel Success, Kufre Iboite, ACI Ibrahim Vrebai, and SP Francis Otum. These lists, I'm not sure they would do me well when we need to start. Can we just have that last break now? 2 minutes, come back and start. I hear. Okay, so thank you. I'm just looking for a pastor to pray for us so that we set the stage. I just need the name. As soon as I have the name, I can bring in the pastor, pray for us. We'll go for the tea break. While we're watching the performance, when we come back, we'll start full blast rather than waste time. I don't wanna go to the club one night, I'm Pastor Emmanuel, that's what they gave me. Is that Pastor Emmanuel, Mike? Pastor Emmanuel, please. So he will lead us in the opening prayers. Please come. Can we please rise for opening prayers?
Let's pray. In Jesus' name. Father, we thank you for your grace, your mercies upon our lives, making us to be here strong and hearty. We give you all the glory. Thank you in the name of Jesus. Lord, we commit our gathering here this morning to your hands. We ask that, Lord, you give us wisdom, guidance, put us through on all we need to know. And at the end of the day, all glory and honor given to your name. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen. The Honorable Commissioner, of course, was here with us and just stepped out, signed a few papers in his office, and will be here any moment. It's when the Honorable Commissioner comes that I'll handle the chairman's. Okay, no, let's just go straight. Let me be able to welcome the chairman, but when the Honorable Commissioner comes, I'll reintroduce the chairman. But just so we who are here would know who our chairman is. You can already find it in front of him, as I alluded to at the stages of the program. This is one man who has been there for this country and continues to be there. He doesn't even live here, doesn't come from here, but I was right there when the decision was made for him to chair this event, and you needed to hear the love he has for this state by what he said on the phone. And he just said he would be here and that he didn't mind to come here yesterday and stay all through. Help me welcome our chairman, ABN. Monday, Morgan, retired. He's the former Chief of Defense Intelligence. I'll talk more about that before he comes on to speak and the presence of the Honorable Commissioner. But let me also say that the Master of Ceremonies for this event has been here with me. I told you too. I think the time has come for us to formally meet her, my senior colleague, a prof, Rose Akai Rose of Comfort FM. Please put your hands together for her. I, at this point, would just ask that the chairman of AGON would allow the chairman of Nsiretai and the leader for Abakaliki Native Council to lead the chairman on this occasion and other dignitaries, of course with the chairman of AGON, to go for the tea break. Where is the tea break, Steph? Where is it? I need to know where the tea break is so that we can have that. We come back, just take this. Is it even ready, the tea break? Where's somebody from the hotel? Please tell me where the tea break is so that they can go for it. And then we can, but if the tea break is not ready, if it's not ready, then we can just have 10 minutes for performance. We're already on air and our airtime is running, so we need to speed up things. Consultee, the performance is now. Performance, please. Performance. Let's have performance. Can somebody come and help me with this? Prof, you just sit here. You just sit down here. Somebody come and help me with this. We need to carry this so that
must do something tonight. Sour, sour, sour. Body sweet like chocolate. Well, let me not mesmerize it. Let's go somewhere private. Yeah, finish it in the way we start. Looking at you, I kill it. Looking at you, I kill it. I kill it. I kill it. Before I kill it. I kill it. I kill it.
Own is an understatement. I am the ownership and the owner of this place.
Okay. I'd like to acquire this property. Well, do you have papers? I mean, what about the C of O?
Sir, don't worry about C of O. I am the CEO of this place. I oversee all the things happening here. My grandfather stepped out by way of death and gave it to my father. My father stepped away and gave it to me. Now I am the owner of this place. This property is my own.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me take a look.
Just look. Enjoy yourself, sir. Feel at home. You own it.
What about the space behind?
That small line, I can just dash you. Forget about anything.
Okay.
Who is making noise in my compound? Hold up. What is it?
I can handle this. Hold on.
Mr. Man, who are you?
I'm sorry. Who is she?
A very close neighbor. You see, my father was a very generous man. He took her from the street, brushed her up, and then mistakenly married her.
Me from the street, brushed me up, and me.
Oh, okay. I notice you have a dispute in your family. So once you are able to settle the dispute, you just put a call across.
So we can talk this over. Forget about this. We can talk. You can't go around your man.
Money is not a problem.
Just
settle your dispute. Settle your dispute.
Which dispute?
Sir, you can always.
Don't worry.
Who is that man? And why are you showing him my husband?
You just ruined my day.
You
just ruined my day. Because I want you to calm down in life. That man there is a rich man. For us to leave this poverty that we are in, we need to sell this. I need to sell this property.
You need to sell which
Yes,
property?
this property.
My husband's property.
No, my father's property. You are a stepmother. Please step out.
You want to sell my husband's property when I am still alive? I will deal with you. This property is not for sale.
I'm no 3 cord 1 kenda. Abokemani Ibre draw. Chelsea draw. Arsenal I win. Straight games.
This property is not for sale.
I will build a small house for you. Just calm down. A small house. No, if you want to do it that way, let us see how it is going to end. This house is what? This house is not for sale. Beware of it, Ura. She could not even put a very bold letters to use and write my name. Let me measure. I know what to do. 2 by 2. 6 by 4. 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 I'm coming back. I don't go this time. I didn't do it.
Hello? Yeah, I'm
Madam, I don't excuse you, sis. You don't see. How far I don't help you now?
I'm okay. Please, do you live around here?
I be the king come up. There's no kind of question with that. I ask you that question. How far waiting you want, waiting on solve.
Okay, please. I'm looking for house number 32.
32. 30 you got 32. 32. You look for 32. House number 32.
Okay, house number 32.
They used to be, they don't come out, they don't pass the number, come on, go past end of the street. They don't pass express. When you don't pass that express, like 5 houses before their house. Now it's number 32.
Hold on. I'm talking about this street.
Now they told you, now this same street, all 32 don't pass, come out, go their new building now.
32. Now human being.
Now the number.
People move with their numbers too.
Madam, you just come in new, like this one line, you see just number 35, that number 5 for that place. They used to stay, they don't come back here, come with carry come number, and they come with you, just move here, support themselves. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm waiting there to say you go give me small thing, I carry go show number. I've been a number.
When I give you small thing, you know well.
I know well.
Well, what do you do?
I want to
go. Excuse me. Bless it. Please, I am going back.
See me job with your young place, won't go find 32. If not for this government, can't go for this government. If not, boys will come on that tax for your mouth, collect their food. See nonsense, so just one thing I don't want. I follow that woman. Say, no matter.
Even government daily staff don't know who I am. Don't know who I am. Don't know what's going on. This is the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary 2022/2023 approved sentence. This house is now for sale. Beware of my stepmother, Ngeze. Now, let the game begin. So, sir, I'm very, very sorry for what happened that day. Okay? You see, things are just meant to happen for things to happen. Absolutely. Yes. Sense will not kill me. You see, in this life, you need to aspire to acquire, to admire your desire, you know. Yes. When Chelsea and Man U play, there's always a problem. Because you see a winner, sometimes you see a draw. But when Liverpool play, either they lose or they walk alone.
Exactly.
So, sir, I have settled everything. If you look around, you see the changes. Let me
check.
Just check around.
But I must appreciate the fact that you were able to, settle your family disputes.
I had to.
So you mean I can now acquire the property?
You can acquire the property. Look around, sir.
Oh. So this house is now for sale.
Exactly. Sir, read down.
Okay.
Stepmother. No problem.
Okay, that's not a problem. How much did you say is the price?
Sir, just 15 million naira.
50 million naira. Okay, so I can make a transfer of 30 million.
No, sir, I said 15 million, half of 30.
Oh, 30 million.
No, 15.
You must be a very honest person.
Sir, honesty is my name.
Wow.
That's my surname.
In that case, I can give you cash of 20 million naira.
Sir, please don't do.
Oh, please, get me my briefcase. Who's there? Okay. There's one more thing.
Sir,
just one more thing. Very important. Has this house been captured? Has it been captured?
So I have the pictures of the house.
I mean, AKWAGIS, let me check. Is this house in the Property Digital Bank?
Oh, sir, okay, bank. I use First Bank, sir. The one at Toronto.
No, I mean Property Digital Bank.
Okay, they were in Plaza, then they moved to Accra Road. I'm with them.
Can you just give me the enumeration number?
Oh, the denomination of the money you want to give me from 1,500, 200, all mints. Mints. I like mints.
Are you telling me you know nothing about house property enumeration?
Sir, I'm afraid we are not on the same page again. I'm afraid, sir.
Hold on. Just 1 minute.
Okay, sir. Sir, my account number 30. Okay.
Hello.
So you're calling your colleague. Okay.
Yeah. Is this AKWAGIS? Yes, there is a situation here. Yeah. A property I wanted to acquire. Yeah, I just note that it has not been captured.
So I have pictures of this house.
Okay. I'll send you details of the venue or the location. Yes, sure.
So you're going to go bank.
Please, 1 minute, sir. 1 minute.
So transfer or give me cash.
Hold on. Just hold on.
So there's a land behind. You can even like that land.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, you're here.
Good afternoon, sir.
No, I'm not, sir. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, my name is Johnson, and this is Omana, my colleague. We are from AKWAGIS.
You're welcome. Thank you for the swift response.
Thank you very
That's
much.
our job, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we would like to know the real owner of this property. We got a
Yeah, of course.
call. Okay, so sir, are you the real owner of this property?
So when you say real, I am more than real. I am the real and the most real owner of this place.
Oh, very good, very good. Okay,
Can we
so
know your enumeration number, please?
yes, please.
This is number 42. Yes.
Are you registered on AKWAGIS?
Like I said, I think we are not on the same page again.
Are you kidding me?
But you just said you are the real owner of this property.
Oh, okay. I know the owner. Let me call her. My stepmother.
Oh.
Let me call my stepmother. Give me a few minutes, please.
Few minutes to wait.
Let me call my stepmother. Sir,
But you told me this is your property.
we own the thing. The both of us, we manage it. Mommy,
Just about making payments.
What have you not done again?
See them, yo.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam.
You again? Afternoon, what is it?
My name is Johnson, and this is my colleague, Omana. We are from AKWAGIS. So we are here to confirm the enumeration of your property.
The what? How does it concern you?
Actually, AKWAGIS are the operators of the State Property Digital Bank.
For why?
Our duty, ma, is to ensure that all properties are registered in the Akwa Ibom State Digital Bank.
So, how does it not concern?
Yes.
Shut up!
How does it concern us?
Having your property registered on the Property Digital Bank ensures that your house is not stolen or sold in an unauthorized manner.
Also, we can aid the government in management like house address management, waste disposal and management, and even house numbering and name.
And also help people like us
Wait,
from
I
wasting
heard
our money.
something that is very interesting. You said for theft, stolen, and what again?
Unauthorized sale of property.
I'm not selling my property now. I'm not selling. Didn't you see that this house is? I don't know. It was not now.
It's not for sale.
It's not. Continue.
Actually, having your property registered on the Property Digital Bank protects property owners like you, and potential buyers.
Thank you.
Like,
There is no potential buyer. Continue.
actually, you can register or book your enumeration on our website at property.aquagis.ak.gov.ng.
Or simply, you can call us on 0813 516 0441.
So wait, let me understand something here. So you're trying to tell me that if I register my property, my husband's property, in that AKWAGIS, that means Eto Udoye will not sell off my property without my consent to this.
That's why I called you so that we can settle it.
Can you register me now? Can you register me now? Come on, Dialogo. Let's go.
Can I come with you so that I may hear him signature on me?
Young man, you mean I would have wasted my 20 million naira?
So you mean you came all the way from where you came to embarrass me? I say this house is not for sale. This house is not for sale.
What is this?
That is just a writing. We can change things around.
Yes. Are you out of the sense?
No, I can call the dogs out here.
Where are my guards?
Billy. Catch up.
Can we please put our hands together again for them? Just as I welcome my senior colleague, Rosa Kai Rose, to come and introduce the next item.
Good morning, everyone. That drama was really funny. Please, let's clap again. I think they did a very good job of explaining what AKWAGIS is. For many persons who are here and they don't know what AKWAGIS is, I think that drama did very well in capturing what AKWAGIS is. Let's wait for them to remove this now for sale and not for sale. Okay. So this house is not for sale. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this. I can say one, very, very distinct event. I don't think I have heard of this kind of event before in Akwa Ibom. And for many persons too, they may not have heard of the enumeration process of Akwa Ibom State Government. Now, before I welcome the chairman, who's going to be setting the tone of the event, the consultant, I beg your pardon, I'd like to say that GIS simply means Geographic Information System. So it's Akwa Geographic Information System. Now, the beautiful thing about AKWAGIS also is that I checked up their website, they're online. I checked them out on Facebook, and they have a beautiful presence. Now, for some persons who may say, I don't want to get to the office, must I get to the office, papers, I don't know, it's going to be stressful. Now, AKWAGIS has made it very possible for you to have a seamless registration process. The consultant of the event will be telling us more, and so with that, let's make welcome the consultant of this particular one-in-kind movement, because I think it's a movement. We want to get Akwa Ibom people to see the necessity of registering their property. Please make welcome Dr. Frank Ekpeyong, who is the technical lead, Carl Christian Nigeria Limited. Please, a round of applause as he steps up. Good morning, sir.
All right, good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for coming. I don't have the protocol list here and probably would like to, thank everyone. Thank you for the chairman, AVM Morgan, who was the former chief of Defense Intelligence. Also, thank you for the commissioner, the Commissioner for Finance, for being here. I thank you for the various representatives of other ministries and commissioners. Thank you for coming. I thank you also, for example, we've got a few permanent secretaries here representing their heads of ministry. I'm really grateful for coming. And also the chairman, the chair of chair, we call him the chairman of Argon. Thank you for coming. And also the local government chairman. Thank you so much for coming. The story is very simple. And thank you guys for the drama. I think that was a nice, they call it an icebreaker, to just lead us into what we want to talk about today. It's a really exciting day for us, and one I wish everyone to take part. Ask questions. Make it difficult for us. We don't like anything easy, so ask us as many questions you want. The objective is very simple. I'm going to try. I've got a slide. It's not really a speech. It's more like a slide. I just want to set the tone and tell us what we should expect, for this occasion. It's a bit far, isn't it? I don't think I can hear myself. All right. Yeah, hold my hand here. All right, thank you very much. Is it not on? Can I hold one? Apologies for this. Sir, two. All right, sir. Turn this one off. Well, turn this one off, isn't it? All right, thank you guys. Thank you. Again, apologies for that. So I have almost like a slide I just want to go through. And again, please take note of what the things we'll be saying on the slide. I expect you to ask me a lot of questions. And to start, the project is quite simple. We are from Kyle Christian, Nigeria Limited. We are the consultant to the state government on AKWAGIS, like the Ms. Rosie introduced, introduced. AKWAGIS is a Akwa Ibom Geographical Information System. The objective of AKWAGIS is to develop a land or infrastructure to be able to deal with land and property management. Land and property management. So there are pretty much two strands to this. The two strands. The first strand maybe deals with automating land processes. For example, applying for your C of O, applying for registering a power of attorney, doing land transfer. That's the first strand, and that's maybe something we're working on and maybe very exciting. So what am I saying? If you want to, for example, buy a land and do a transaction, you can register that online without any hassles and without any issues. So as the second part, I think maybe after next week you would see a lot of media hype, a lot of media blitz, I used to call it, on land automation. That's going to focus strictly on the Ministry of Lands and Water Resources. The second part, which is where this event sits, is on property enumeration. The state government is desirous to make sure that every property, it's on their digital bank. A bit like yourself, you've got a house, for example, you've got a family, you know who belongs to your family. If the government is going to manage and govern Akwa Ibom State, it must know the properties that are in Akwa Ibom State. That is the most simplest message ever. I don't think it can be any difficult. So what we want to focus today is how do we go about doing that. So that is what we want to showcase today, and maybe expect you to ask us a lot of questions. So I'm going to just move along quite quickly. Like I said, the second slide, if you can help me move it. We've got some things on the wall. Anyone you can see, please look at it. The same thing I've got here. We want to collect information about all the building in Akwa Ibom State. That is so key for us. We already have digital records of all buildings in the state. Can we have the next one? And if you can look on the slide there, you will notice using aerial imagery, using satellite imagery, we've been able to digitize all the buildings in Akwa Ibom State. We've been able to digitize it. So we've got those things that look like blocks. I'm not going to go into technicalities, but we've got the buildings, we've got the parcels that represent everything in Akwa Ibom State. And they look really nice. You can look at the screen and see an example of what they look like. What we do not have, who owns the building, what the building is used for. That is the information we do not have. I know you're going to argue, but we have the UC Capital Development Authority. If you're going to build anything in Uyo and maybe nearby Uyo, you should go to UCCDA and make an application, and they should know who owns the building. 100% correct. We've got some information. If you want to sell a land, you should go to the Ministry of Lands and register, for power of attorney. You should also apply for C of O. True. We've got that information. So we've got information we conflate, we add, and we know own some building. That is correct. But majority of the buildings, we do not know. We as a government or as a government do not know who owns it. And that is the objective of what we want to achieve. Why do we want to enumerate? We're enumerating because one, government wants to know the number of buildings in the state. That question we can answer already because, like I said, we've digitized all the buildings in the state, so we have that information already. We want to know the use and the spatial distribution of the buildings. For example, in Uyo urban area, in Uyo, how many buildings exist? In Ikorabasi, for example, how many buildings exist? The government also want to do the number of residents within the building. I always give a good example. If you see what our Governor Emmanuel is doing, I think it's excellent. I think it's a great job he's doing there. If you look at, for example, the road extension or expansion coming from the airport into Uyo, there are quite a few buildings that has been demolished there to give way for that expansion. How do they know who owns the building? How do they, compensate them? How do you know how many people live in each of those buildings? How do you know? Maybe they could have gone another way if they had the information, or maybe who knows. So that is another reason why you want to have the statistics of how many people live in a building and where they live. We also want to know the number of buildings per plot. In Uyo, for example, with housing, it's always common to see 3 buildings. You see the main building, you see the get house, and you see maybe a boys' quarter. But how many buildings do we have per parcel or per plot? That's also something quite important. We also want to know the addressing. You remember doing the dramatization, you saw how, someone looking for number 32 and could see number 2, number 4, number 53 exactly. That is a real problem that exists in the state. During this process, that is something we want to address. And this will help the government, for example, deal with any decision they want to make, for example, relating to land. I've just highlighted some of them. They also support, proactive waste management. For example, they can begin to estimate the volume of waste, that's going to come from certain section of the local governments or state or area. And more importantly, we would help against unauthorized theft or sales of a building because we would have the record of all the buildings in the state. Then we also talked about the street naming. That's something quite important. So that is, in a sense, the information I could give you on why the building enumeration is a very, very important exercise. Who's going to come to enumerate you? We have our enumerators. We have about 100 enumerators. 100 enumerators. We expect that they will give us about 20 buildings a day. Some of them could go up to 30 buildings. So that means every day we should be having between 1,000 and 3,000 building records enumerated already per day. We think that is big. That's good. Are we able to finish it? Interesting. I think we were quite determined. We're not in a hurry. We've got the technology, we've got the tools, and our enumerators are really, really excited and want to do this. So I think we should be able to deliver that. To enable them to do the job, what we've given them, and this is also what you should expect. Our enumerators will come with a letter, from the Ministry of Lands and Water Resources introducing why they're coming to your property. They would also come with an ID card. We should have their face and name. They would also come with, for example, an hand sanitizer. We've given them one in the context of COVID. It's really important that, they have sanitizers, they have face masks, and they would always ask you a question from a tablet, small device, They wouldn't ask you a question offhand. They must ask you a question, from the tablet. And obviously, they're going to wear their uniforms with a cap. You've seen some of the cap already within the hall. So that's what we expect, to do. What do you expect our enumerators to do? They will come into your property. They would introduce themselves, by means of either the ID card or maybe an introduction later. They would pull out their tablet and they will start to ask you questions. I'll tell you the questions in a minute. And once you've answered the question, they will submit that. Immediately they submit that questionnaire or that form. You, the owner or the respondent, will get a text message depending on the phone number that was used. You're going to get a text message with a unique reference number and also a website address which you must go to validate what information, all the information you've provided. And this is very important. You don't have to go, but you have to, I think it's important to go. You would have the opportunity to look at what your buildings look like, which I think is so powerful. You'll be able to see your property in real time. You'll be able to see it over an imagery. You'll be able to see information, and you'll be able to see the information you've provided for the enumerator. And when you see that, anything you do not like, you must call us. You must contact us to say, look, I don't like this. I don't think this is correct. I don't think my name is spelled correctly. And we'll be happy to change that. We had the capability to allow you change these things yourself, but we thought, if everyone is changing everything, I can imagine what's going to happen. So that's why we thought, it's really important that you talk to us, before we can make any changes. So that's very important. And once, after a while, we're not going to allow you to see that record again. That's going to be when we've submitted to the government, obviously the Ministry of Lands and Water Resources. Now, the information required, we think it would take 10 to 20 minutes. It could be 10 minutes, 20 minutes if, you find some interesting owners of properties. Some people are going to ask you a lot more difficult questions before they even give you any answer. So we've taken that into consideration. But we think in theory, it should be 10 minutes. 10 minutes should be enough for this, but we never know. What we want is the name of the property owner, if it's rented or occupied by the owner, the number of buildings, the occupant details. We also want the use of the building, and we need to know if the building is connected to the grid, if it's connected to the power grid. For example, NEPA, that's what we know it is. We also must take a picture of the building. There's no if, there's no but. But we will not accept a picture where the owner or anyone appears in the building. That picture will not be accepted, obviously because of data protection. Standing in front of the building to be taken, doesn't imply you own the building, so that's not it. We only want a picture of the building so that we would know that that's the building that we're talking about. I've got a fanciful slide on, if you can look at the wall, it's quite fanciful. This is one of our control dashboards. So if you look at the green ones, are properties that are enumerated correctly. The yellow ones are properties, that's what we call partial enumeration. Partial means the guy turned up on your door and probably didn't meet the owner of the house or didn't meet the resident of the house, and it's going to come back. Partial because he's completed things he can observe. For example, I know there are 3 buildings here. I know that the buildings are connected to the grid, but doesn't see anyone to ask any questions. So those are the yellow ones. The red ones are the ones, are not enumerated. So the enumerator will still have to go back. But we get this data real time. This is a fanciful dashboard we use. The next one is also very fanciful. We use this also to pretty much do a quality control, the QA/QC control. So as the data is coming in, we have some really smart young men and women that sit down and make sure that the data the guy is providing is correct. I can imagine someone is going to ask me here, how do you know that your enumerator is at the building? How do you know your enumerator is not at home or maybe in some drinking parlor, and providing you fake data? No, that's not possible with the technology we're using. The tablets we've given them, we're monitoring them real time. We know where they are. As they're collecting data, we're also seeing it from the back end. So it's not possible for an enumerator to sit down and just provide any data he likes about building. Absolutely no. I've still got more fanciful slide, but the thing I want to pay attention to is the website. The website is property, please take note, property.aquagis.ak.gov.ng. 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 If you are unsure when you will be enumerated, or you would like to know, for example, you're quite busy, don't stay at home, don't want to give the information to someone, please go to this website. You can do 3 things. The first one, you can book an enumeration. You can submit your details. This is where I live. This is what I do. And I want you to come and enumerate me. What would happen is that we will contact you and give you precise timing when we're going to come. But you don't have to do it because every property will be visited by enumerators. The second thing you can do on the website, you can validate or view the records you've submitted. This is really important. You can validate or view the records you've submitted. So please take note. If you've not been enumerated and you don't have the Unicode, do not bother going to view because there's nothing to see. Because of data protection, only the people that has given us the phone number that have been enumerated that can view their property. And the third thing is that you can contact us. You can complete a form and contact us on the website. I had a screenshot there. I'm not sure if we can demo that. I'll find out if we have time. I don't know how much we're doing with time. I would have asked Mr. Ayo to just do a demo so that we can all see all this work. But what we crack on. In terms of support, please go to the website property.aquagis.ak.gov.ng and visit and book your enumeration. If you plan to be aware, if for example you're traveling out, you're not going to be there, please make an arrangement for someone to receive our enumerators. The information required are not complicated. We don't want your title documents. We don't want to see, for example, your CFOs, no. That is not required. All we want to know who owns this property, does he live here, the names of the people that dwell in the property. I think that's quite simple. So that information are not sensitive. We expect you to give that information if you're not going to be around. And please do not invite our enumerators to come inside your building. Please allow them coming through the gate and stay there and you talk to them. Do not invite them. Don't encourage them to come into your building. For example, I know AKWAGIS, we're normally very kind. We usually don't talk to people outside. We invite you in normally, but in this case, can I appeal to you to just, talk to them outside if that's okay? If it's raining or really hot day, let them, take cover under your shade that is outside. Please do not invite them inside. We do not tolerate any violence, harassment against our enumerators. We're doing everything to protect them. It's a really difficult job, I tell you that. It's a really complicated job, I think, in my opinion. I'm going to appeal to you, please do not harass them. If anything they say you don't like, contact us. I'll tell you that. They have a lot of notes on their tablet, which they're also going to tell us what has happened. And we will do everything to prosecute anyone, via the police, anyone that harasses or make them feel uncomfortable. We will report to the police at the first case and we'll make sure we follow this up, as far as possible. Do not bribe enumerators. It sounds weird, but people could want to. For example, if your properties has got 2 tenants, don't think that by saying 5 will make the government give you more money. That's not correct. Please do not bribe, do not induce, and do not give them any money. Don't offer them tea. Please just let them do the job. Again, our dedicated phone line, 0813 516-0441, 0813-516-0441. And obviously, the web chat is available at property.akwagis.ak.gov.ng. Again, I've skipped over some details because I expect you to ask me a lot of questions. I think this will be a successful event if we take a lot of questions. So, can I ask that, I stop there, but I'll be coming back again. I've got a few teams here. Maybe I should quickly just introduce them, which will be helping me in dealing with the questions. I've got Mr. Fayakumi here with me. Oh yeah, we can just wave. It's going to help us. I've got Mr. Niebang Benson. You can just wave. He would help me as well. I've got Mr. Niebed, who is our numerator. And I think it was Rosemary, am I correct? Yeah, who's also a numerator. I've got Rachel. And I've got Messi. So make it very difficult for them, okay? I think it'd be nice if we could make it very difficult for them and also for myself. We like it to be difficult. All right, thank you so much.
Can you please give Frank Ekpenyong, PhD, another round of applause? Okay, it's just gone past midday. About 4.5 small minutes since it clocked midday in Uyo, Nigeria, meaning that what's left of our airtime is just about 55 minutes, and we're going to try and squeeze in so much action. Can I just seek the indulgence of Mr. Chairman to introduce a few persons who have come while still waiting for our chief hosts. The Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Finance, Akwa Ibom State, has graciously joined us. So nice to see him. And that is Doctor. Doctor. If you were last year, I'll just simply have referred to him as Mr. Bet. He's now a PhD holder, Dr. Nsikan, Linus Nkang, Honorable Commissioner of Finance. I know that the Surveyor General of our state, who is quite involved with this project, quite helpful, is also here, Mrs. M.M. Isang. She's just behind the cameras there, and we can see her. Surveyor Chris Ekpo is former chairman of Nsiru Biom local government. It's very nice to see him as a surveyor. Put your hands together for him. I'm told that a number of permanent secretaries are in here, but I'll just introduce the ones whose names I have on paper. Anye Kanakpan is the acting permanent secretary, Ministry of Lands and Water Resources. Can we put our hands together for him? Dr. Wemedi Moudo is the chairman of your local government. It's our host, so it was very nice to see him. He was just here. Please put your hands together for him. The Right Honorable Eric Akpan is the chairman of Nsiri Bom local government. Put your hands together for him. He's just seated here. If there are other local government chairmen, please send me their names as we progress. I'm still waiting to introduce the chairman on this occasion formally. I'm just waiting for the Honorable Commissioner, since I would not like to do that twice. But just get the microphones into the crowd. I'm going to be controlling this one It's time for questions. You had the technical lead for Carl Christian Nigeria Limited, who are consultants to the Akwa Ibom State government on AKWAGIS. I'm talking there, and he's saying he's ready for questions. So if you have questions, or you have comments, this is the time. Even as the microphone will be moving on, please just signify if you have. If you have something you want to say, let me just see your hand, and the microphone will come to you. Let me also say that my teacher, my head of department, my future dean, my future, many things. Somebody who has helped me so much educationally has also walked in, and is the chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Line Use and Allocation Committee. Professor Peter Isu is in the building. Also my boss, that's what it should be. See my boss? Yes, it should be, because he's the #1 journalist anywhere in Akwa Ibom State. The chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Akwa Ibom State, Comrade Amos Etuk, is also in the building. So nice to see the chair. Okay. Questions? Can we just have questions? If you have questions, if you have comments, let me see your hand. It's okay. The first person is there. Just get there. Once you get the microphone, just introduce yourself. Keep it short and simple. Introduce yourself. Please just go. Go. Introduce yourself, and then your question. Okay, that should be Samayara. The mask, eh? Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Samuel. I'm a journalist. My question, we listened to the consultant talk about
Samuel Ayara. I think it would add both to, if you like, the believability that's embedded in your question. If you told us journalists were, and you work in a nice place.
I report for AKBC TV.
Fantastic.
Okay, so we listened to the consultant talk about all of the procedures lined out to have this process go smooth. But he never made mention of how much community interface his organization has gone into, as per how much of our community leaders are involved in this process. He rather would emphasize more on ensuring that the enumerators are safe, enumerators are better protected, and the likes. Now, there is absolutely not going to be anywhere that would happen, and this exercise would go seamlessly without active community response, reaching out to the communities and getting to conscientize them on this. So I want to have consultant tell us what his organization is doing to build community response.
Okay, I'm sure that's a great question. I'm sure the consultant on the project to the Akwa Ibom State government is there. Ekemini Simon is right behind you. Let me just say, yes, this is a media event, but others who are non-journalists should also prepare their questions. Ekemini Simon next.
Ekemini Simon, the Mail newspaper. What's the monetary demand for this on the part of the citizens? And is this also a way of bringing back the property tax that we had? Thank you.
Ekemini Simon. The leader of our Back Legislative Council is just seated here. Who is with the microphone? Can you get the okay, let me just formally pause, and I hope you don't mind. The chief host on this event, also special guest, is in. And, I told us he was here, helping us to even make sure the event is good, and needed to dash out and sign a few papers. So the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Lands and Water Resources, Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Moino, is back in the building. Okay, so I just take that question and perhaps allow the consultant to field them. Then we get back to normal programming. Yes, that last question. The Queen, please give it to the Queens. Look at her here. Why are you running away from me? Just give it to her. The consultant, you take this. I'll just hand over my microphone to you. You answer these 3 questions quickly. Then we come back and bring on the chairman on this occasion. Yes, Queen.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Honorable Queen Sanju Bassi, leader of ABAG Legislative Council. My question is, please, is this applicable to the rural dwellers? Because coming from where I represent, the ABAG local government area, there's so many streets, there's so many areas that has no name. So how in such cases would that be applicable? How would the rural dwellers be carried along in this project?
Dr. Consultant, please.
Right. Can I just say thank you so much for these questions? I think just listening to the quality of the questions just reinforced why we needed to have this program. So again, I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. And you know, like I requested, you've made them very difficult. So here, thank you for that as well. All right. The first question talked about any involvement of the community to the process. You know, I'm just summarizing it. You know, I think what we've done is make sure that we deal with every, you know, if you like, the community structure, starting from the local government chairman, and that's why you see they are well represented on this occasion. What we are going to do, I left out some details because I was conscious of the time. You know, we only got about probably 2 hours to be on air. So I left out quite a lot of details in what I was presenting to you, and rightly so. What we plan to do is start in your local government area, for example, the urban areas, for example, with housing, for example, shelter. And what we've done, the authorities that are responsible for these housing units, you know, we're working very close to these authorities to make sure we have the permissions, we have the data to be able to go and enumerate. Once we leave this sort of organized community, we're going to get involved, for example, the local government chairman, the youth structure, you know, the youth leadership in each of these areas. So I like to say we got everything covered, but we're also learning on the process. You know, we will talk to a lot of people. We are talking to a lot of people. So the objective is to make sure this will work very well. So as you would imagine, that's why we're putting this information out on the public domain so that people can question us, we can question what we're doing, and to ensure that we're doing it properly. So I can assure you, every community or infrastructure or community leadership or structure will be taken into consideration so that we would have a successful event. And I'm sure you also agree with me, it was right that I ensure that the lives of those enumerators are that important. We all make sure nobody, you know, threatens them, no one harasses them. So it's quite important I stress that. But that didn't mean that the communities were not important. They're very, very important, and we will contact them. In terms of the monetary expectation, you know, the question was, for the owner of any property, we do not expect you to pay anything. It's a free exercise. Please, that's what I stress. Do not try to induce or bribe anyone. It's a free exercise. And also you asked the question if this reenactment of something, taxation. You know, I'm not aware of any taxation interest or as far as this is concerned. Like we told you, the objective is to know how many properties we have in the state and how many, who owns them and what is used for. Nothing on taxation as far as I know. Applicability to the rural areas, that's an interesting one. The issue we have with the rural areas is that there's quite a lot of turbulence in terms of the way buildings change and move. The objective now are for completed and developed buildings within the urban areas. We have the building footprints of every building in the state. So I think it's something we're going to engage with the government and see if they're going to go with rural areas. But the emphasis first is with the urban areas. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Can we just please put your hands together for Dr. Frank Ekpenyong? Okay, so let's just get back to the other activities. The order of activities, we just have, quite time conscious, we have 45 minutes on our hands, so just we'll squeeze in 40 minutes of action. The Honorable Commissioner is on the ground now. As I said, he was here, he only stepped out to put himself in order and come back. So let me formally introduce the chairman on this occasion. As I said, it's a five-star Nigerian, has played a huge role for this country and continues to do that. Variously was head of the Air Force Group in Calabar, just next door. Was also a senior air staff officer, Tactical Air Command in Makudi, Benue State. F officer commanding, that's AOC, Logistics Command, Nigeria Air Force at some point, as well as head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. You know, the one that he left office with is the Chief of Defense Intelligence, and that's the man who took the trouble to fly all the way from Abuja, Nigeria to come here. But something you need to know, he's a seasoned fighter pilot. AVM Monday Morgan is the chairman on this occasion. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you, Chairman. So nice. You know, when you're dealing with something as intelligent as what we're doing, you know, even buildings, I'm sure you know, there are some buildings, they call them intelligent building. When you're dealing with intelligent events or intelligent projects like this one, And you need to be communicating that to members of the public. You need to get a man who himself is an intelligent officer. And I'm super excited that this man has come all the way from Abuja. Help me welcome for the chairman's remarks. Chairman on this occasion, his remarks now. AVM Monday Morgan retired. He had to come all the way from Abuja, Nigeria. Shows how much he loves Akwa Ibom. Shows how important this event is, even for the bigger subset, the bigger country, Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, sir.
Thank you. I'd like to stand on the existing protocol. Before I go on, I'd like to thank Ekpeyon for this invitation. He is a man that I respect so much, a very young person. When I was Chief of Defense Intelligence, he was a consultant in the Defense Intelligence Agency. And we did a lot of things together to ensure the safety of life or property as we wage war against Boko Haram. One of the things that I like to say is that intelligence, just like the speaker just mentioned, there are two broad dimensions about intelligence. There is human intelligence and the electronic intelligence. But when you deploy technology, you must do assessment. And when you do assessment, you must send a human being to verify that this is real. So the application of technology in the enumeration of property is very key, and is the best practices that civilized worlds have embarked upon. I think one of the greatest things that God has bestowed on man is landed property. And I'd like to give you a little bit of experience on what land property is all about. I was in the year I started primary school, was the year Nigerian armed forces fought against the breaking rebels of the Eastern region, the Civil War in 1967. And the location where I was born, I'm from the middle belt of Nigeria, and my dad told me there were a lot of exodus of the Easterners out of our land. And as you know, in northern Nigeria at that time, the only people that had access to money and property were two people: the Hausas, who were traditional traders, and the Igbos, who were, can I say, immigrants of Eastern region to Northern region. By the time they left in a hurry and left all their properties. But thank God, the emergence of a middle belter, General Yakubu Gowon, when the war was over and he brought about integration, he said to our traditional leaders, when the Igbos come back, return all their properties to them. And I can bet my finger that almost about 90% of the Igbos that returned to the Middle Belt got their properties back. And that was how they started their life all over again. And what that means is that by the time they came, property has already appreciated. So they only lost a time out of their lives, but they never lost their money. Property protection is one of the responsibilities of government to its citizens. And it needs government that does not take that as a focal point, has not the good things of intention to the citizenry. because the Constitution says clearly that your life and the property are the basic thing that government must secure. So the Ministry of Land and Water Resources has taken a wonderful direction into this, in the good direction, because this is the world's best practices. In the civilized world like Britain and the United States and other Western Europe countries, this practice has been on for donkey years. You will imagine how comfortable the whites are. When you see a white man, he's not worried about property, because if his father had a land, especially that lady was talking about the rural area. The rural areas in England are the most expensive places. Those of you who are fans of football, you know one of this Liverpool guy, what's his name? Oh God. The striker. Can you? Huh? No, before Salah, who is on retirement now. Steven Gerrard. Good. Steven Gerrard lives in one of the most expensive areas in Liverpool. And I've been to that place before. His house is just like this compound. The compound does not have a zinc house. It's a thatched house. And those thatched houses are the most expensive houses in England. I think you can confirm. So, what the British have done, what the GIS system gives you is that it's an automated system that continues to evaluate your property. So, the drama that we saw here wouldn't exist in England. You stay at the comfort of your home and you Google a street in England and say number 5 Liverpool Street, the postcode, and it will appear on the Google, and say, you ask the Google and say, what is the approximate price of this property now? He will tell you the property was bought by the original owner, Suso person, at £200,000 in 2000. But current pricing is 450,000. So you exactly know who the owner is. So you don't need to bring that guy to come and pay something that the house is not for sale. So what the government of Udo Emmanuel is trying to do is to civilize property system in Akwa Ibom State. And I think you guys are very lucky. Akwa Ibom people, you are lucky in the sense that you are the only state, because you are the front burners. Look around. You are lucky from the time the civil governments came in, from Mata to Akpabio to Udom Emmanuel, all great guys leading your state. So I think I want to thank the governor particularly that he thought outside the box to set a pace in Nigerian property development and protection system. So on this note, I'd like to thank Dr. Ekweong, the Commissioner for Lands and Water Resources, for this resourceful approach to technology, and that we believe that this is just going to be a pilot case test for Nigeria. By the time Ekweong finishes this part, other states will come running, because we are tired of litigation. We are tired of people running up and down. We are tired of next of kin being skimmed out of the scheme of things because of money bags. A land once acquired should appreciate for the generation of that man, his kinsmen. And I think on this note, I'd like to stand here and thank all of you for this gathering here. And once again, I'd like to appreciate the governor, extend my wonderful greetings to him and the good people of Akwa Ibom State. Thank you very much.
Akwa Ibom, nyini mi son duduo. Asene wosro adi atangi konven. Aturo na ke frère iron me nyini nye governor se for ne kan nyini mi awobok. Ya mi awobok ndi no Akwa Ibom State.
Okay, so that was very necessary. The boss did well, because I said I was going to say the same thing. All right, moving on. We had promised we were going to be very fast with this event, and I think we're on course. Now we are getting to the keynote address. Well, we still see some persons coming in, so I'd like to also recognize everyone who's just coming in. Thank you so much. I think I've seen the DG of Akwa Ibom State Broadcasting Corporation. Yes, Dr. Nyetukwe, welcome, sir, and to every other person who just came in. Now let's get to welcome one very successful businessman. I think that for some persons who have stayed in Eket, I mean, I knew his hotel business since being in school, and I knew that he had one of the biggest hotel business back then while I was schooling. And this particular sector where he has proven himself is the hotel and tourism industry. This is an industry where Akwa Ibom has huge potential, and I'm glad that we are tapping into it because there's a lot of money in the hotel and tourism industry for the state. Now, he's not just a successful businessman, he's also a very successful businessman when it comes to the church business. He's a pastor, and now he also heads the Ministry of Lands and Water Resources. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, with a standing ovation, welcome the Honorable Commissioner, Lands and Water Resources, Pastor Umar Basi Eno. Please don't stop until he steps onto the podium. Do not stop until he steps onto the podium. He's coming with so much to talk to us. Good morning, sir, and welcome.
Thank you. Please, let's take our seats. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to be here. I'd like to thank the moderator. I don't know church being a business. I know that church is social services and bringing people to the kingdom, but it's also business in some sense, though. It's God's business. So you're right.
Finally.
You're right. The chairman of the occasion, revered AVM, who came all the way from Abuja to be part of this event, we thank you, we welcome you. My senior colleagues, members of the Akwa Ibom State ESCO, I can see right here the Commissioner for Finance that is here seated, and and we have local government chairmen that are here. I'd like to recognize the chairman of Uyo local government. I'd like to recognize the chair of chair that is here. Thank you, sir. And I'd like to recognize chairman of my local government, so that who is also here, and the chief security officer of my local government. I'd like to welcome my brother and friend, chairman of Sribom local government, and other chairmen that are here. And because of face mask, I may not be able to recognize all of you. I'd like to recognize all the service chiefs that are here this afternoon, and the Surveyor General of the state. I'd like to welcome you, Ma. I'd like to welcome all the directors and senior management staff of the Ministry of Lands and Water Resources and every other person that is here this afternoon. Please permit me to stand on the protocol that has already been enunciated very well by the MC. It's a privilege to be here this afternoon, and want to thank you. We are indeed very privileged to host all of you here, joining with Dr. Frank Ekpeyong. I almost said Dr. Frank Achibong. Dr. Frank Ekpenyong, who is a consultant on the GIS, which is tagged AKWAGIS, and so we can together do some work. We'd like to thank Governor for his pioneering efforts and for always stepping out of the box to do something which generations of Akwa Ibomites will in future live to thank him for. Sometimes people in service don't receive accolades while they are in service, but when they leave government, you see that maybe on a visit to the state thereafter, you will now realize that there was so much that he did. The GIS is one thing that we will live with and will come to be a blessing to Akwa Ibomites many, many, many years to come. And it will answer to a lot of things, a lot of land theft, a lot of encroachment, a lot of forgeries, and makes transaction with banks very easy, because at the push of a button, they could see who owns the land, what size of land, and like the AVM have said, what value is being currently placed on the land. And at the same time, with the push of a button, it could help government to understand the total asset base that we have in terms of property that the state has. It will really, really be of tremendous importance. I could go on and on, but I have a prepared speech so as to stay within the time. Permit me to just read through this so that we can stay within the time. I'm indeed honored to have been invited or to have been part of this live town hall media event on AKWAGIS property enumeration. I celebrate the government of His Excellency the Kinudom Gabriel Emmanuel for championing the cause of digitalizing land and property management in Akwa Ibom State and thinking through ways of achieving and electronically capturing and storing of land information for easy processing and retrieval. So some of us were aware that Lagos State and the Federal Capital Territory have already gone far on all of this, and Lagos State is doing so well, and that's why you have quick issuance of certificate of occupancy, because it's all captured electronically and it doesn't have to take time. AKWAGIS is a modern digital platform deployed by government that uses technology to store enumerated property information. It uses geographic information system. That's why it's called, for short, GIS, to digitize the location of properties, their owners, and occupants, allowing the government to have a digital inventory. Is made specifically for managing, registering, and securing landed properties in the interest of both property owners and government. And we are now going on to enumeration. So what's the enumeration? Why do we have to enumerate? Of course, property enumeration is basically a land assessment project which seeks to provide accurate and up-to-date information on lands and properties in the urban town across the state for planning and development. This will be the first attempt to get accurate data of properties in our state. The enumeration aspect of AKWAGIS allows for government to secure the interests of rights of property owners against theft, impersonation, and other vices, thereby providing an added layer of protection of the properties. Property enumeration will consolidate government records of all properties that we have in the state. It will prevent theft. It will provide information on proper planning by the government. It will provide properties owners with adequate layer of security. It will provide basis for improving address management in the state and allows for seamless storage and retrieval of property information. This program, when launched in our state, will connect us to the outside world beyond anything else. You can stay in Akwa Ibom and sell your property anywhere on the face of the earth through the GIS. People can access that information, and then there'll be not too much argument forth and back. People want to buy your property, they didn't have to go round and round. It makes the Ministry of Land to operate optimally. Right now, every day, I spend nights to to sign documents, tons and tons of verification. We want to do verification. We want consent. All of that, once this is put in place, those days are gone. Because once you just, from the time you put in an inquiry, it's prompting everybody to do their bit. And up to the commissioner, wherever you are, it's prompting you on your phone that there are documents for you to work. It's the first attempt to digitalize land in Akwa Ibom State. I believe that it is one of the very, very best achievements this government will record when we exit office. And I am so privileged to be the Honorable Commissioner for Lands at this point in time. And I want to assure the general public that Dr. Frank Ekpenyong is very well capable, and you have heard his CV. If the Chief of Defense Intelligence could tell you that he was one of their consultants, we should be proud of him as our son, that is also is consulting for Akwa Ibom State. So we'd like to encourage everyone to participate. Please don't feel threatened. Nobody is asking you for money. Nobody is doing this to hurt you. We want Akwa Ibomites to key into these lofty ideas. Please don't mind the naysayers. We know that in every action of government, there are people who always sit down, who do not understand, no matter how much you try to explain what this is all about. But in the long run, when people who have registered begins to enjoy the long-term benefit, then you will understand that this was necessary. This is an enlightenment event to us to allow Akwa Ibomites, those in here and those watching us across the media, to understand that this event has kicked off and will need your support. As the enumerators come round, they will have their badges, they will have their IDs. They are not supposed to come into your bedroom. They are not supposed to take anything out of your houses. They are just there to do simple enumeration. On that note, we'd like to welcome you and thank all of you for coming. Thank you.
Can we please give the Honorable Commissioner Lands and Water Resources Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Moino, another round of applause. Many, many thanks. Okay, so effectively we have 15 minutes on our hands. Please be seated. We just have 15 minutes on our hands to round off this. So we're trying to see how we can squeeze in so much time. We are live, as I told us, on 4 radio stations. We are live around the world, online, on YouTube, and we're also live on at least one TV station, AKBC channel, AKBC television channel 45, and on Star Times 113. So I will take the next 5 minutes and do some more questions. We expected to have phone calls from around the world, but unfortunately, because we lost so much time at the opening, we're not able to do that. Still questions, if you have questions, can we see your hand? There is somebody behind there. Can we get the microphone? It just would tell us you, who? The Honorable Commissioner would also, okay, I'll bring the microphone to you, Honorable Commissioner, but right now, yes, your name, your question, keep it short.
Good afternoon. My name is Abasi Freke Fiong. I report for the Dune newspaper. My question is, we are collecting very critical data of Akwa Ibom people. So what's the guarantee that this data will be secured? 2, how will this system address the issue of beneficial ownership where, for instance, a government appointee owns a lot of properties here and there? How will this address that? And there is this issue of government allocating land to people. How will this system address the issue of government allocating land? Are processes been set out for such allocations? Thank you.
Next question, because, okay, there's somebody there. Just that, yes, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am Mrs. Simabon James. My question is to clarify for those that are outside there to know what this is all about, if I'm mistaken from the drama we watched. The first is taking pictures of the area. If a picture is taken of a bungalow, and then in 3 years' time, the person demolishes the building and builds a very big structure, what is put in place to what length of interval do those people visit those locations again to check the upgrading in case someone wants to buy the property? And then how sure are you that the person you are meeting for the detail is the correct person to give you the information on detail? Because some people own property here and they're abroad. So the information that is given now, what the abroad people come back and they want to sell the property, how sure are we that we are selling it to the right person and taking note of things? And then for the website usage, you spoke about that information will be sent to you in your phone. What is put in place for those in the rural areas that don't have access to network? They don't have the gadgets, they don't have the big phones to upgrade and to check if the information that was given was correct. And then...
Just last one, go ahead, last one.
If the property was registered with a setting and the person passes on, and then maybe the next of kin or the person has only women and they're all married, what is done? And they all have different surname now, and they want to sell the property. How sure are we that these people that are married now are the real children of the owner of the property? Thank you, sir.
Wow. Okay, one last one. There's just another lady there. Then we... Dr. Frank Udoy-Penyong, the consultant on this project, I'd just like to appeal to you. You just take three minutes and answer all this battery of questions. Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Emedi Okwe. My question goes this way. What about, for example, I'm staying at 1,000. You see the numbers like this 27.
Carry the microphone to your mouth a little, man.
27, 97. Doesn't mean that this AKWAGIS, they're coming back to start numbering again so that we could get the accurate number, because from the drama we watched, we saw when the lady was trying to locate her friend, she was telling her that the address is 32 and 32 is the other way. She's seeing 45 here. So how are we going to address that?
Okay. Any more questions? Yes. Okay. Chairman of a local government should also ask the question. And I'm wondering if a chairman of a local government will ask questions, who will answer? Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, my honorable commissioner and special guest and chief host. Good afternoon, the chairman of the occasion. My question is simple.
Your name?
My name is Architect Inyobong Orok, the chairman of Nsulubium local government area. This question goes to you, consultant. The plots that have that we are going to be looking at through your GIS coverage, some houses are owned by people who probably had those houses unlawfully. For instance, we have plots that were allocated by government, past governments to people, and then private people had taken over illegally and have built on it. So how do we handle the issue of the ownership of the property at the time? Because I own the papers, somebody else is illegally resident on my property. So whose name goes on that GIS as you're enumerating? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Fantastic. Let me allow... No, the Honorable Commissioner, is he asking a question? He's not asking a question. He would come here and speak. When he finishes, let him just finish. And let's say that the chairman has graciously allowed us. We can have a 30-minute space just to tidy up everything so that everyone can ask their question. But I know that the radio and TV stations would go off at 1 o'clock. So we just try to squeeze in, and then we just add another 30 minutes to round off. Yes, the microphone is there. Just stay there, consultant.
All right, thank you so much for the questions. I have some questions here. I think the first one talked about security. How are we sure the data we're collecting is secured? I think that was about what was asked. This is quite straightforward, I'll tell you that. I mean, I would like to do a demonstration of where we pretend to do an enumeration, and you get a text message, and we demo it and we show it. You know, maybe that would go a long way in convincing you. Just because of time, you know, that's why we're not able to do that. But it's something that was planned. But security, we're using the recent contemporary technologies to make sure that only you can look at the records. We see when someone is logging in to see data, if that makes sense. Is that good? I mean, we can see when you are seeing your property as far as the system is concerned. So we're doing everything possible to make sure that we see that. And maybe something I shouldn't say, but I'm going to say just to reinforce what we're talking about. We understand the IPs looking at a property. So for example, we cannot enumerate a property here with a number, and you look at it to the next day, a person goes somewhere else to look at the same property. So we're putting things in place to ensure that Only the persons that were in the property are the ones that can view the property. I have a question here on ownership issue, and Honorable Chairman, so I think it's the same thing you asked, so I'm just going to address the two questions together. I'd like to tell you this, and I can imagine what is coming our way, but our mandate is quite simple. We are documenting all the landed resources in Akwa Ibom State, and we are handing that data to the Office of the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Lands and Water Resources. What we're not doing, we're not going to who owns, who doesn't own. We don't go into litigation. We just map, we document, and present the data. We give the tools so that they can do their job. Presently, there are ways these matters are resolved. So we're not trying to take over that at all, no, but we just provide the tools and the data so that they can do their job quicker. So that's the objective of this. So I like to, make sure that comes out really strongly. I had a question about renumbering. We're doing something with UCCDA. I don't think I can speak too much on that because I don't have the authority of the chairman to do that. But we're doing something on automating the process of where you get a building application approved. And there's something exciting we're trying to do. Once you go through that process, in conjunction with the local government, we've not spoken to the local government chairman concerned yet, we should be able to get the numberings right at that point. So that's something we're trying to do. So we're not going to go about changing numbers. No, we will present the data and the authorities concerned would decide a nice way to handle that, so that it works for everyone. I was asked a question about if you take a picture today and tomorrow the building turned to something else. Again, this goes back to UCCDA. Before you do any of those construction, you must put a building application in place. So we would collect that. We would use that and update our enumeration record. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Consultant. I'd just like to invite the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Finance, Dr. Nsikan Linus Nkang, to please step forward to the platform and take his 2 minutes. Right on his heels would be the Chairman of Uyo Local Government, Dr. Uwemedimo Udo, who will be speaking on behalf of local government chairman because the chairman of AGN is not here. Honorable Commissioner of Finance, sir.
Well, thank you. The chairman of this occasion, the Honorable Commissioner for Lands and Water Resources, the consultants, the chairman of AGN. Through him, I acknowledge other chairmen that are here. Distinguished participants in this program, thank you, the MC, for actually understanding my mood. It was actually very important for me to say one or two things in support of this program. AKWAGIS is one of the programs of this government, and we are solidly behind the success of this program. Let me thank His Excellency the Governor for his support for this program to be a success indeed. And so far so good. I think His Excellency has done very well. The approval and release of funds required for executions of this program. For us, we're working to realize a very long dreams of Akwa Ibom people to have digitalizations of land and property and resources in our state. It has a lot of advantages. Why I actually indicated to speak was clearly to clear the air. One of the persons that asked questions asked if this is a way to reintroduce property tax in Akwa Ibom State. I want to say authoritatively, it is not the intention of Akwa Ibom State to introduce property tax through this process. It's not at all, because I know our people, by the time we set out for enumerations of properties, resistance may come from so many sources, and we may have a whole lot of people with different ways of ensuring that this program does not succeed. There is no intention to reintroduce property tax at all. Whereas this AKIS is to really bring a lot of advantages and benefits to Akwa Ibom people. I personally was at the anchor of ensuring that we have this program in Akwa Ibom State. And I want to thank our consultants very seriously because so far so good. The confidence we repose on him is really quite bright. At the time we selected the consultant, I do know that we received applications and submission proposals for so many people in this country. But I think he stood out the best. We didn't select him because he's an Akwa Ibomite. But during the presentations and defense of their proposal, I think he still came out the best. More or less, I interact with him on a daily basis to ensure that this program is going to be a huge success. Now, I was a banker in Akwa Ibom State, and I do know the problem our people face there. So for us, the aspect that is of great interest is for economic development of Akwa Ibom State. As a banker, which we really want to ensure a lot of people succeed in businesses. You can't be a very successful businessman if you could not have access to bank facility. But that is one of the things Akwa Ibom people do not have advantaged. Business people in Akwa Ibom State do not have what it takes to borrow money from banks. They do not have titles for their property. Properties are everywhere, but they do not have titles for their properties. Hence, our people do not have what it takes to provide collaterals that secure them opportunity to have bank facility to run their businesses. But AKWAGIS is one of the ways that Akwa Ibom people will be able to have title document for their land, for their houses, the building, and other properties that will enable them to have access to bank facilities to be able to move their business forward. We have a lot of business today, they will strive to borrow their debt, and banks should be there to support businesses. But in Akwa Ibom, I think the problem has always been that of not being able to secure bank facilities as a result of lack of title documents for our properties. So this is one of the ways I believe we will be able to accelerate economic development of Akwa Ibom State. So I employ all Akwa Ibomites everywhere to help this program to succeed. It's a way to go. A consultant, Commissioner, Minister of Lands, I think we need to do a lot of sensitization and awareness to our people. I'm happy we have the media in good number here. Please do need to assist to ensure that we create all the necessary awareness and sensitization to Akwa Ibom people. This is not meant for tax purposes, but it's meant to accelerate economic development. Thank you.
Thank you, Beyond the Commissioner. Minister of Finance, Akwa Ibom State, Dr. Nsikan Linus Nkang. We have 3 minutes before we go off air, and but remember that the program will remain online, live, but for radio, television, about 4 radio stations and 1 TV station, they'll be going off in 3 minutes. Before that happens, just permit us to squeeze in 2 very important entries. The number one from the number one chairman of the local government in Akwa Ibom State, the chairman of Esirenke. Just stand there because of time and lack of it. The Right Honorable Iniobong Robson, please. 1 minute.
The chairman of this event and our host, Honorable Commissioner for Lands and Water Resources. We have a lot of great personalities here and beautiful faces. And of course, the MC and previous speakers have taken time to accord us due recognition. For want of time, I want to appeal for the prevalence of that recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, my own is not a question, sir. It's a way of expressing my appreciation for what I've seen here today. And there is no how I'll do that without first appreciating His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, who is the brain behind this very beautiful idea and innovation. I only wish this had taken place some years back, because sincerely speaking, almost everybody in this hall has gotten into one trouble or the other because of lack of property enumeration. I've had a lot of terrible experiences. If you've not been scammed before, your uncle or your dad or your relative has been involved in it. And the benefit of this cannot be overemphasized. I'm very strongly of the opinion that this will very largely make life better in Akwa Ibom State. It will help to curb crime. It will help to detect crime where possible. And as chairman of council, I think we also have a very major role to play. Unfortunately, a lot of my colleagues are not here, but we're going to move, have a step forward after here. I'm going to make sure we interface with the consultant so we can drive the process in our respective local government areas and sensitize the people. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Frank Udoikweyon, many thanks for getting me to listen for the first time in my life to the chairman of Algon Akwa Ibom State. Considering how this chairman keeps very low profile, tries to keep away from the media. I always thought he couldn't express himself, but look at how beautifully he has done. Put your hands together for him, please. So it's good. At least I've gained something from this event. And now I know when he does not come on air, I would know that it's not because of that. I would know that he should come on air, and he would come on air in Jesus' name. 1 minute is left of our airtime. Let me invite the host local government chairman to just say a word. He could just take my microphone so that we don't lose time. The chairman for Uyo is Dr. Wemedi Moore.
Thank you very much. The chairman on this occasion and the honorable commissioner, please let me adopt the already established protocol for want of time. Now, first let me commend this process. I wouldn't have spoken again because my chairman has already done that. But for the sake of the fact that the demo, the model that we're going to use was starting from Uyo. So I'm passionately interested in what we're going to do. And of course, my chairman has also observed that we are getting to, we are beginning to be carried along in this process. So we are firmly in support of this program. And I've also heard that part of the things that this will involve will be street numbering, street naming, and so I really want to advocate for active collaboration of the various agencies of government in charge of these things, these areas, so that we can have the best out of this. Thank you very much, and may God continue to bless our wife.
Amen. Okay, so thank you. So we're going off air now, and or off the air. I'd like to thank Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, TV. I'd like to thank Radio Akwa Ibom. I'd like to thank Excel FM, Unio FM, as well as Redemption FM back. I'd like to thank all of you. Even as you go off, we'll remain online live and take the next 30 minutes before we round off. I think at this point, the hotel, you can take care of that item on the program. The tea break now can happen, please. The tea break can happen. But the transmission, the coverage by AKBC should still continue because we're looking at making sure you can cover that. Yes, so let that still continue. We can play that after now. Okay, so questions, more questions so that we can round off. Can we have the service? Let's have the meal go round so that in the next 30 minutes we can say bye-bye. So, questions. If you have more questions, if you have more comments. Yes. The microphone should go to him, please. Namesake Emmanuel Mike would be speaking. Yes, any other person? Let me see the hand so that I know how to allot time for that. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Please, the consultant, I have this question to ask. Most times programs of this nature are always introduced. Do you have systematic approach to sustain and to prolong this? Because it's not just enough to bring up these lofty ideas, but perhaps maybe at the end of the administration or maybe the incoming administration, everything's totally vanished. What do you have like a strategy in the long term to prolong this? Thank you.
I'm waiting for other questions before you would answer because we need to round off with just any more questions? Okay, any more questions? Lady Mansa. When is the chairman of NUJ? You're going to be saying a word or two. You need to say stuff. But right now.
Again, thank you so much for the question. I think, as you can imagine, our governor, His Excellency Odom Emmanuel, I like to call him Mr. Intentional. It's not an accident. It's well planned and well purposeful. So you can imagine, we're not going to present a proposal that only lasts for a time. You know, the plans are there to sustain it, to maintain it, and make sure this is something that has come to stay. I think, again, for lack of time, I'm really, really itching to do a demonstration to see what we've done. For example, in terms of property, I'm going to try and stick to that theme, property enumeration. What is going to happen? Because this is the first time we're doing this. What we've done through the UCCDAs and co, once you build a new property, we don't need someone to come and enumerate it. That data would automatically be transferred into the state digital bank. So that's what we've done already. In terms of maintaining it, we have different approaches to make sure that this is done properly. But I can assure you, and obviously this is one of the key points of the project, to make sure that this project can be sustained and can be maintained. We're doing almost what is called a knowledge transfer type approach. There are people within the Ministry of Lands and Water Resources. There are also people in the Surveyor General's office that are responsible in looking at this and ensuring that we're doing this, we can transfer knowledge to them so that they can run and manage this project once we're done. So yes, we have something in place. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I was just saying, because we have time, it's the tea break time, so we've come to the end of the program almost. We can go through that process if we have 20 minutes. Is 20 minutes enough? Can we try it? Let's just try, because it's very important while people are taking this. But if you also have questions to throw in, because this is still online, as I said, and then, well, even the telephone, I'm not sure if there's any need to do that anymore. Yeah, but let's go on with that. Vote of thanks. You want to do the vote of thanks instead of the other one? Yeah. Okay. All right. NUJ chairman, yes. NUJ chairman, please.
Thank you very much. Let me respectfully recognize the chairman of the occasion and the two commissioners here seated, the Commissioner for Finance and the Commissioner for Lands and Water Resources. Where we are gathered here today, we are also making history. And I'm happy that Akwa Ibom State, under His Excellency the Odom Emmanuel's administration, will be the very first state in the South-South to implement this. And also let me say that I wouldn't say it's a coincidence, I think it's also divine. In the next few hours, the Honorable Commissioner for Lands and Water Resources will be the very special guest at our NUJ Monthly Congress. So this will also present another platform for him to tell journalists in Akwa Ibom State what the benefits of the AKWAGIS is all about. And I'm happy that the future of the economy of Akwa Ibom State is in the bright and prosperous content of this program. And you have the support of the NUJ to project this to the brightest horizon. Thank you very much. Fantastic.
Okay. Is there any of the service chiefs that wants his voice heard? Anything you want to say? Because we brought you here. You are so involved in infrastructure for your personnel, and it was necessary that you all came. We'd like to thank you. But if you have anything to say, this is the time. Otherwise, anybody else has something to say? Because we've come to the end. We kept this for 2 hours, and bet for the 30 minutes we lost at the opening would have been just perfect 2 hours. But nothing is lost. We're still here. So can I invite the consultant to the Akwa Ibom State government on AKWAGIS and technical lead of Carl Christian Nigeria Limited, Frank Ekpenyong, PhD, to please come for vote of thanks while you just continue to sit down and enjoy your tea break. Vote of thanks. You can even do it there if you want. You can do it there if you want.
Again, thank you so much once again. Thank you very much. Can I just thank, first of all, thank God for a day like this. I'm really excited. And like when I was on radio yesterday, I really did say that I keep pinching myself because this experience is quite real. It's quite huge. and we're quite excited about that. We can only be glad that we're doing this. I also want to thank, my governor, the governor of our state, Mr. Dom Emmanuel, for the vision. You probably heard the Honorable Commissioner for Finance when he was telling us about the selection process. This wasn't a case of just because my name is Frank Ekweyoung, that's how I got it. No, absolutely not. I mean, most people here, at one point or another, you've gone through the process of applying for a job, and you know the tension. You know how you could feel. Could I get it? Would I not get it? That's exactly some experience we went through, because we knew there were other qualified firms that could have easily gotten this. So I want to thank the governor for the purposefulness, for the intention. This wasn't my idea. This was the idea of the governor. He understands where this fits in. If you look at what he's doing, the investors coming in the agricultural sector, this is very important to be able to showcase, all those development. And can I just quickly add here, by sometime next week, we're going to start seeing, low-flying aircraft, digitizing and mapping, Akwa Ibom State. We're going to be having a 10-centimeter ground sampling distant imagery of the entire state. And for those of us that are quite technical, we're also going to be collecting LiDAR points, which allow us to do building elevation modeling for the entire state. So we have good record. I think this has not happened before. This is going to be huge. So Akwa Ibom is going to be properly digitized and ready to receive the whole world. So we thank you again to our Governor Dom Emmanuel. Can I also thank the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Lands and Water Resources. He's been a huge backbone support, I tell you that. He's given us a platform to just run. He's given us the free hands to do this. He's absolutely very supportive. His tax cuts, his challenge us to do more. And I'm quite excited that, it's a time like this, where is the commissioner, that this is taking place. So that's also a huge plus, for us. I also want to thank the State Surveyor General, Mrs. Sang. She's been wonderful. She's offered our leadership, mostly around the enumeration. She's done quite a lot of work in terms of advice. Yesterday we had a meeting on how we would, deal with the enumeration, the pay structure, and all that. She's really come in with a lot of, expertise. She's done a similar project, I think, in Kogi State. So that experience we've benefited so much from. So thank you so much, ma'am. I also want to thank the Permanent Secretary and staff of the Ministry of Lands and Water Resources. They've not held back anything. I mean, anything we ask, within the books, they provide it to us. We talk about applying for COOs, registering power of attorneys. What they've done is expose their processes so that we can digitize and automate that. So I don't take that granted. Thank you so much. Also going to thank the chairman of local government. I know I've not come to you officially yet, but it's something I will do because I need you 120% as far as this is concerned. The your local government chairman, I'm going to come to you really quickly because I know we've been doing with you. We've got ideas, lofty ones, and we want to turn that into a reality. Can I thank also the service heads in Akwa Ibom State, from the military to the police, to the fire safety, the customs, immigration. We also need your support. Your buildings will be enumerated. Your infrastructure will be enumerated. So it's quite important that everybody that is here takes the message back. And I also want to thank everyone for coming. I want to also thank Bush House, Nigeria, for all your support and work they've done to make sure this event is successful. I thank you to the media houses, and I thank you for the media community in Akwa Ibom State, both online and also AKBC and Co. Thank you so much. And again, thank you everyone for coming, and I hope you enjoyed it. This shouldn't make you stop asking questions, even after now, ask me questions, because we're happy to take them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we almost come in full cycle. My senior colleague on the microphone, please come up so that together we'll round this off. But let me just say, on Monday, property enumeration starts formally in Akwa Ibom. So look forward to receiving some very smartly dressed young persons and all of that, as they come to enumerate the property. That's number one. Number two is that there's a phone number. I was hoping we'll be able to test that in the course of the program, but you see how the time ran. 0816, and it's good for you to have this number. No matter what happens, this is the number. 0813 516. The drama people gave this number. It was not fake. It was the true number that you need to call if you have any problem with this whole process. 0813 516 0441. 0813 516 0441. I guess that's the size of it. I just would allow my senior colleague on the microphone to come here and thank me and thank all of us in the media who made sure this came out as smoothly as it did. But also would like to thank the consultants for trusting us with this responsibility. That's us in Bush House, Nigeria. To have pulled this one, and I also hope that he enjoyed it. He asked us if we enjoyed, that he hoped that we enjoyed this event. I would hope that he also enjoyed our own consultancy. Right now, help me welcome Rosé to round off the event.
Thank you very much, the boss, Michael Bush, for a great job. And thank you, too, for the opportunity. So I just want to say that as we started this, please let's take this message to our different places, our workplaces, our homes, and begin the process of educating people around us. People would have to hear from us that we came here and now we know about AKWAGIS. So when they start coming to our homes, as the consultant has rightly said, there would be no harassment of any form. And I believe that strictly when it is a success in Uyo, it will be very easy for the other local governments, to catch up, and then we have the whole Akwa Ibom properly enumerated as it is. So once again, we've come to the end of the event today. We kept our word. We're going to close early. So I believe in 2 hours this was done. Thank you so much on behalf of the consultant of the event and also the chairman on the occasion. Thank you very much for everyone who attended today. And thank you for making it possible 2 hours of your time to come here and learn about what AKWAGIS is. On behalf of the media and the boss, Michael Bush, my name is Rose Akai. Thank you for coming and enjoy your meal and have a great afternoon.